When was the last time the Toronto Raptors were 5 games under, sitting at 2-7? Certainly not the start you expected from Nick Nurse's ball club. Let's deep dive, see if we can figure out what is wrong, what is going on with the Toronto Raptors. Make sure you thumb up and subscribe and follow Scout with Bryan. That's Bryan with a Y on Twitter. Let's jump right into the film. First of all, you still see glimpses of their defense being really good. Fred VanVleet does probably the best job in the league of doing just this, playing in a what's called a pistol stance, always being in a stance, having both arms out, being long, and that's how, despite his small size, he gets so many deflections. He's also super smart. You're going to see here, when your man passes the ball, he's the best in the league probably at jumping to the ball. Watch this. Getting in the gap right away so that Jason Tatum has to get rid of it. Then he's going to close back out to his man, fight him over this little handoff. And now, as his man goes weak side, ball's over here now. Look at him. He's going to sit right on the nail, be in help, be in, again, a good stance, both arms out, in the gap, ready to help, ready to come over. And then as Jaylen Brown tries to turn the corner, now he's going to get his hands up and get a steal. He's so good at that. So fun to watch him play defense. This is a great possession, too, starting with Norman Powell. Great ball pressure on Semi. Chris Boucher, good denial. Stanley Johnson's up and aggressive. Kyle Lowry is going to deny the ball reversal. And then finally, Stanley Johnson knocks it away from the pass to Tatum. Predictably, though, dribbles it out of bounds. Here is what they need to do more of and what Stanley Johnson can provide if he is part of the rotation. Some of these steals, creating offense from their defense, seem like they did a lot more of that last season. This season, they're getting a lot less out of their transition. I think they need to get back to creating a lot more of the offense from the defense. What's troubling about their defense, which is 20th in defensive rating right now, does seem to be more on the overhelping side. So right here, as they get 2 on the ball on the pick and roll, Tatum's going to throw back to Williams, which is going to make Siakam rotate. He makes the extra pass. OG is going to recover to the corner. And then Fred does a great job doing what he does, being ready to come and help. But some could argue there's almost too much help. And teams are starting to figure out that if you keep the ball moving, like Boston does here against the Raptors, eventually they collapse the paint so well, but you're going to find an open 3. Their top 3 not allowing points in the paint, but again, if you keep it moving, they will really break down and give up open 3s. Here, Siakam is way too vertical, gets beat away by Wiggins. Again, Lowry does a good job coming over. Once again, here as Powell gets beat, good help defense by Siakam, and Lowry covers down. But again, this kind of over-aggressive defense from the start and the over-aggressive help is going to lead to Golden State getting a kick-out Damian Lee 3. Finally here, this one's not over-helping, but they also need to do a much better job just containing the basketball. Here, Terrence Davis needs to make sure this goes towards the screen here. Peyton Pritchard, he can't get beat, totally reject away from the screen like Pritchard does here. That was way too easy for him to get a total blow-by and end up finishing at the rim. They need to do a much better job containing the ball. Here we'll see one of the dangers of what they do a lot of also, which is switching. There's nothing wrong with switching if you do it well, but part of the problem with doing it excessively is it'll lead to a lot of breakdowns in communication. I'll let you watch this play first once and then rewind it because it was a little tricky even for me to figure out what exactly happened. But as you watch it again, you're going to see that Damian Lee comes off a stagger. And right here, Norman Powell thinks that OG is going to switch on to him, and Norman Powell peels off to go get Pascal. But OG doesn't do that, and he thinks he's still staying here. He thinks he's still with Pascal, so now Damian Lee has nobody on him. Kyle Lowry briefly is also going to think on this little action right here that he's going to switch this onto Damian Lee, but of course nobody's guarding Lee right now, so Wanamaker comes off wide open. So Kyle Lowry gets back to him, and then OG gets back to Damian Lee. Again, a 3 that's created really by just unnecessary switching that maybe they need to get a little more solid in just staying with their man. Here, this 3 is way too easy, and Stanley Johnson does definitely have to come in and help, or Steven Adams would have a dunk, but he should still be behind Adams, trying to use his leverage to get him out of the paint, not totally jumping in front of him like he does here. And then OG also needs to have a much better sense of urgency, because really it's his responsibility right now to be sprinting to Josh Hart in transition, and he is very lackadaisical about getting back and doing just that. Here, OG is going to miss a layup, complain to the refs about a foul, and Boston, of course, is not going to show any sympathy here as they move the ball and find the open man for another transition three. Speaking of transition, here Van Vliet again misses the three. James Wiseman coming down off the dribble is going to get a transition dunk. This is just unacceptable. This is just, again, a lack of urgency that they've shown a few too many times this season. Van Vliet seems to be kind of calling out the ball a little bit for some reason, or at least pointing to Draymond. But Siakam now right here is in the paint. He needs to stop this ball. Lowry, I understand, is guarding Curry, but Malachi Flynn could do a better job being in a stance. Siakam definitely has to stop it. Either way, giving up a transition dunk to a rookie is unacceptable. Also unacceptable this. Kyle Lowry knows much better than this. Great veteran, but as Steph comes off this double drag, he now becomes the low man, weak side, who needs to come in and be in the paint right now, have a foot in the paint on the help line, and take away this pass to Pascal. Again, way too easy for him to roll right there for a dunk. This one, it's hard to know exactly what the game plan was, obviously, since we're not in the coaches' meetings, but it looks certainly like they maybe told Steven Adams, okay, we want to get up and aggressive, maybe trap Ingram on this, so that's what he does at least. But that's going to mean somebody needs to come in and stop Steven Adams. OG makes kind of a half-hearted effort at it. Boucher is guarding J.J. Redick, so understandably he's not going to give too much help. But Lowry again could be in the paint a little more. OG again needs to stop this ball. Either way, they cannot allow Steven Adams to waltz right down their paint for an uncontested layup. That is way too easy. Sometimes you wonder if Nick Nurse gets a little too cute with some of his trick defenses and such too. Here they're in a triangle and two on Tatum and Jaylen Brown. You're going to see the triangle right here. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and all Peyton Pritchard's going to do is drive it into the paint, force the bigs to come over, and now Semi's wide open for a three. Again, some of the defenses, yeah, they're pretty cool. They mix things up a little bit, but it does seem like more this season teams are starting to figure them out, find open threes against their trick defenses. They might need to just go back to playing solid man-to-man defense. Here, I'm not even sure if they're in a box and one or just a zone, what exactly they're in here. Definitely not man defense, though, and again, playing this kind of zone, whatever trick it was, is going to allow Wiseman to seal Siakam literally under the basket and get a dunk. Again, way too easy. Siakam could do a little better, but they need to take away these layups and dunks. It's also a make-miss league, certainly. Not helping that OG Anunoby shooting 27.5% from three. He was 39 and almost 42 the last couple years. This season, he cannot buy a basket, and that's really hurting them. This is kind of typical Raptors basketball, playing fast in transition, attacking closeouts, great ball movement, but OG, again, is just nowhere close on the three. He needs to be much better for them, quite frankly. Again, make-miss league, though, so this is the thing where Nick Nurse, can't be stressing out too much about this, because this is a great shot for a great shooter, and kind of like he said when they lost last night, sometimes that's just kind of how the ball bounces for you. Ends up missing two on that possession. That's not going to happen all that often. Kyle Lowry's going to miss a wide-open transition three here. Siakam's going to miss an open three. It's just like when it rains, it pours. Things are going so poorly for them. Kyle Lowry ends up missing 2 free throws with under 5 minutes in a really close game. It's just like you can't make some of the stuff up, and that's part of why, again, 2-7, but I wouldn't be freaking out too much. I think they still will finish above 500. They've still been in almost every game. I think long term they're going to be just fine. Here's a play that Nick Nurse loves to run. It's a beautiful play, a little hammer action. Always confuses teams because these two guys are going to switch places, and it creates, again, a great wide open three for Terrence Davis in the corner. He just can't knock it down. Maybe Matt Thomas needs to get a little more playing time if they do need some more shooting, because they are tied for the most three-point attempts a game, 42, but they are 18th in three-point percentage at 36%. make-miss league, like I said, so we just saw Toronto miss all these open shots. If Andrew Wiggins hitting step-back threes off the dribble, if Draymond Green is knocking down corner threes, if you do a great job walling up the paint, taking away second chance points right there, but then Draymond again is going to kill you with a late clock top of key three that every team in the league lives with. Again, sometimes it's just not your game. Of course, again, this game comes down to the wire. Damian Lee puts him ahead with a free throw, and then last possession, Siakam is going to have an ISO from the top, get to his turnaround that he loves, and of course for Toronto the ball is going to go in and out. That's just how things are going right now. Part 2 of this video is going to touch on their offensive issues, much more on that, their center problem. If Chris Boucher is the answer, I'm going to deep dive his game and go into a lot more detail on Siakam. Part 2 is going to be available only to patrons, though. Go right here, patreon.com/ScoutWithBryan. You can unlock that for even $2. All you have to do is sign up for even $2 to unlock a 10-plus minute bonus video of Part 2, What's Wrong with the Raptors, all different clips, all unique clips. Thanks for watching. Thumb up, subscribe.